Noise steps back half a pace, not gone, just rearranged. The room exhales without a sign and keeps its range. Cups stack slower than before, footsteps lose their edge. Nothing here is winding down, it just adjusts. No drop hiding in the sound, no need to sit back down. Every motion keeps its form warm. After the rush finds its shape, I stay inside. I don't lose the thread I'm holding, I just realign. After the rush finds its shape, clear and slow, I stay awake inside the seas and let it flow. The bass softens 1 degree, still steady underneath. The drums speak less, but when they do, they mean it. The melody steps out of the way right when it should. This is how the middle feels when it's good. No pressure pulling at my eyes, no reason to reorganize. Everything remains intact, exact. After the rush finds its shape and settles in, nothing pulls my focus loose, nothing wears me thin. After the rush finds its shape, I remain awake, aligned and present in this frame. If the afternoon begins to lean, I don't call it in between. Nothing fades because it slows, nothing ends because it goes. There's a balance in the ease that still holds velocity, just enough calm to remain sane. Light shifts slightly on the wall, not lower, just more wide. I reread what I finished earlier, it still holds its sight. This is where the hours smooth without demand. I don't chase the quieter tone, it understands. No drifting off, no dulled attention, no loss of intention. Breathing even, posture straight, aware, awake. After the rush finds its shape and I remain, nothing pulls my clarity out of frame. After the rush finds its shape, I stay intact, awake, aligned and steady in this act. After the The room settles into its skin, not quiet, not too thin. Voices know how far to go, when to rise, when to slow. Glasses rest with softer sound, night learns how to move around. Nothing sharp, nothing bent, everything feels meant. No weight pressing on my chest, no need to name this as rest. Every sense stays right in line with time. Evening finds its balance here, between the light and low. I don't disappear, I don't let the focus go. Evening finds its balance now, and I stay the same. I remain awake, composed inside this flame. The menu glows, the counter hums, a gentle rhythm settles in. Someone smiles and looks away, letting moments stay their way. I reread lines I thought were done, find them better than before. This is where the work feels whole, without control. No drifting toward the dark, no need to hit the spark. Everything remains aligned, defined. Evening finds its balance here, nothing pulls me out. I stay clear, I stay near, without a doubt. Evening finds its balance still, as the night draws close. I stay awake, aware, intact, and this composed. If the room grows warmer now, that doesn't mean I soften down. Nothing asks me to dissolve, nothing waits for me to fall. There's a calm in holding form, while the night becomes the norm. Just enough ease to stay precise, not sacrifice. Outside dims, inside holds a steady tone that doesn't fold. Time relaxes, doesn't slip, I stay firm in every step. This is where the evening lives, not in endings, not in gifts, just a space that knows its role as a whole. No fatigue behind my eyes, no urge to compromise. Breathing even, standing tall, aware of all. Evening finds its balance here, and I remain. I don't trade my clarity for something vague. Evening finds its balance now, and that's enough. I stay awake, aligned, exact in this hush. Evening finds its balance, so do I. The sun stands high without a shout, no shadow trying to move about. The room is full but still precise, every sound has learned its size. Plates arrive then drift away, the rhythm knows how long to stay. Nothing tips, nothing spills, the hour knows its skills. No pressure hiding in the light, no reason to divide. Everything stays in its place with grace. Midday holds the line for me, bright but never loud. I don't lose my clarity inside the crowd. Midday holds the line and stays firm and clean. I stay awake inside the sun and know what I mean. Conversations lift and fall, never breaking through the wall of focus built from earlier hours, now strengthened, not devoured. I check my notes, then let them be, trusting what they gave to me. This is where the work feels short, not insecure. No drift pulling at my side, no urge to dim the light. Every sense remains intact, on track. Midday holds the line for me, and I hold to. Nothing pulls my focus loose, nothing breaks it through. Midday holds the line and bends, but doesn't break. I stay awake, aligned, exact for my own sake. If the day peaks right here, I don't lean into fear. Nothing asks me to be more, nothing asks what came before. There's a balance in the height, where awareness stays upright. Not because I try to win, but because I'm in. counter glows with open light, no corner left for night. I finished tasks I didn't rush, they settle without fuss. This is where the hours stand, not in question, not in plan, just the center holding strong all along. No drifting off, no fading head, no wish I stayed in bed, breathing even, posture tall, aware of all. Midday holds a line for me and that feels right. I don't trade my focus for the brightest light. Midday holds the line intact, and so do I. Awake, composed, aligned under this sky. Midday holds, I stay. Screens glow brighter than before, but not enough to pull me in. The room has learned its work and tone, a quiet, steady discipline. Cups refill without a word, pages turned and paused and learn. Every sound is doing less, and somehow doing it best. No urgency inside the beat, no reason for my pulse to speed. Everything is finding place at a natural pace. Mid-morning find its shape in me, not sharp but clearly drawn. I don't rush what I'm about to be, I let the focus come on. Mid-morning finds its shape and stays without the fight. I stay awake inside these hours with a calm exact way. Footsteps pass, then thin again. The crowd dissolves, the who and means. The laptop hums, a pen taps twice. Thoughts arrive without advice. I don't chase the perfect frame, I let it come, I name it late. This is where the work feels true, not new, not overdue. No pressure hiding in the sound, no deep decorum locked in now. Every minute earns its role by being whole. Mid-morning finds its shape in me, and I don't interfere. Nothing pulls my clarity, nothing pulls me near. Mid-morning finds its shape and holds without demand. I stay steady in this focus by my own hand. If I drift, the room adjusts. If I stay, it builds on trust. Nothing needs me to be fast, nothing asks me to outlast. Has a strength in staying plain, letting rhythm do the same. Just enough attention given to what's living. Sunlight climbs the far wall now, not dramatic, might avow. The city works that half a voice, leaving space inside the noise. I write, I stop, I read it through, make it better, not brand new. This is where the hours grow quietly slow. No drifting off, no happy head, no need to wish I stayed in, but even vision wide. feels right. I don't need intensity, I don't need the fight. Mid-morning fire that shape and stays until it's time. I remain awake, composed, precise inside this line.
Wanna rest in open air, nothing sharp and nothing rare. Light is even, silence kind, nothing breaks the calm in mind. But don't react to passing song, everything is evenly found. The desk is still, the screen is clear, nothing urgent enters here. I rest softly where it lands, same soft reach, same gentle span. I don't tighten, I don't brace, let the calm remain in place. There's no moment needing guard, nothing here feels loud or hard. I don't shift and I don't palm, nothing breaks the steady calm. Nothing breaks the calm, no disruption, no alarm. I don't hurry, I don't wait, everything aligns its way. Time moves gently, wide and slow, focus stays where it should go. Nothing breaks the calm, this is how the morning flows. Coffee rests beside my hand, like it understands the plan. Outside hums in distant tone, inside stays completely known. Thoughts arrive and gently fade, nothing here needs to be weighed. I don't gather, I don't choose, let them pass the way they move. I don't manage what appears, morning moves without a steer. Nothing rises to the palm, nothing breaks the steady calm. Nothing breaks the calm, no disruption, no alarm. I don't hurry, I don't wait, everything aligns its way. Time moves gently, wide and slow, focus stays where it should go. Nothing breaks the calm, this is how the mind flows. Work continues smooth and light, no resistance left inside. I remain with what is near, not distracted, not severe. Breathing even, posture light, attention stays within sight. In this calm I clearly see, calm is what is carrying me. I don't need to set a wall, this alignment doesn't fall. Every quiet moment spin keeps the balance permanent. Light remains and so do I, neither rushing, neither shy. This is how the morning stays, calm, intact, in gentle ways. Nothing breaks the calm, no disruption, no alarm. I don't hurry, I don't wait, everything aligns its way. holds the even tone. Nothing cracked and nothing torn. Calm remains, the work goes on. Nothing breaks the calm at The room wakes up before I do. Light moves first, nothing new. No voice calling, no demand. Just the morning where I stand. The window's open just enough to let the quiet rearrange. The street below is finding pace, not fast, not late, not out of place. A cup rests warm beside my hand, steam dissolves into the air. I don't reach for anything because nothing's asking there. There's time between the breath and thought, a space where nothing's caught. I stay a moment longer here because the way is clear. Nothing is asking yet, nothing needs a name. I'm moving through the open hours, all the same. No voice pulling me ahead, no wait, I have to get out. I'm moving through the open hours, nothing is asking yet. Nothing is asking yet. Screens come on one by one, soft blue light, a steady hum. Keys fall gently into place, thoughts arrive and lose their edge. Plans are loose but holding still, nothing sharp, nothing ill. I don't need a finish line, just a start that feels like mine. If I pause, the world goes on. If I slow, I'm not behind. Everything keeps finding shape, even when I take my time. Nothing is asking yet, nothing needs a name. I'm moving through the open hours, all the same. No voice pulling me ahead, no wait, I have to get out. I'm moving through the open hours, nothing is asking yet. Coffee cools, the air feels like clouds decide to drift, not fight. Outside, hours pass like sound, low and even, settling down. I don't look for something more than what this middle's for. One small task, then one again. That's how days begin. I don't need a moment bright, I don't need a sign. If the morning holds its ground, I'll stay right here inside. No rise, no fall, no sudden change, just space enough to rearrange. Nothing needs a name. I'm moving through the open hours, all the same. No voice pulling me ahead, no wait, I have to get out. I'm moving through the open hours, nothing is asking yet. Nothing is asking yet. No need to race, nothing is asking yet. I'm in my place, light stays for a while before it moves on. So do I. pressing on this moment. It stays wide and open. Light rests calmly on the wall. No signal rising, no call. The desk feels balanced where I am. A cup of screen, a steady span. Nothing asking me to respond, nothing pulling me beyond. Outside the street keeps distant sound, far enough to let me hear. The city moves without leaning in. It knows it's bored of here. I don't rush the second thought, I don't stack what comes next. I stay inside the present with that hasn't been compressed. There's no weight inside the air, no push I need to face. Everything remains workable at this pace. Nothing is pressing on this moment. I stay, I move through the open hours this way. No force leaning on my shoulders, no need to postpone. Nothing is pressing on this moment, and I'm home. I'm home. Screens glow soft in neutral tones. Messages arrive then go. They don't crowd my attention, they already know. Keys repeat a gentle rhythm, not fast enough to rush. Thoughts appear then drift apart without a push. Time doesn't narrow what I do, it stays wide and kind. It lets me work the way I work, one line at a time. If I slow, the calm remains. If I pause, nothing breaks. Everything keeps holding form at this rate. Nothing is pressing on this moment. I stay, I move through the open hours this way. No force leaning on my shoulders, no need to postpone. Nothing is pressing on this moment, and I'm home. Coffee cools beside my hand, steam thinning into air. I don't hurry what remains, it stays right there. Outside clouds don't organize, they drift without a plan. Neither do I, not just yet. I'm working where I am, one small task then one again. No cue to accelerate. This is how the middle holds a gentle state. I don't need the time to press, I don't need it tight. If this moment stays like this, I'm alright. No rise, no fall, no sudden tone, just staying in the know. Nothing is pressing on this moment. I stay, I move through the open hours this way. No force leaning on my shoulders, no need to postpone. Nothing is pressing on this moment, and I'm home. Pressing, oh, pressing, no pressing, no. The moment stays open and I work inside it. Everything still responds clear. The desk feels steady in place. No reason to change the pace. Nothing asking me to soften, nothing pulling me away. Outside the street keeps moving, still active, still clean. The city hums like it's working on something unseen. I don't lower my intention, I don't stretch the sound. I keep the work where it already is and stay around. There's no cue to step aside, no hint to let it fade. Everything keeps operating as made. Nothing is slowing yet. I stay, I move through the late afternoon this way. No signal telling me to ease, no edge to forget. Nothing is slowing yet, and I'm set. I'm set. Screens glow clear without warmth. Messages arrive in form. They don't press against my focus, they conform. Keys repeat a balanced line. Not rushed, not late. Thoughts feel anchored to the task in place. Time doesn't think what I'm doing is tasteful. It lets the late afternoon continue useful. If I lean in, the structure holds. If I pause, nothing folds. Everything keeps holding form as it goes. Nothing is slowing yet. I stay, I move through the late afternoon this way. No signal telling me to ease, no edge to forget. Nothing is slowing yet, and I'm set. The cup is empty, focus steady. The air feels clear and ready. I don't look for a softer tone. There isn't one outside. Clouds shift but don't fall. No reason to stall, neither do I. I'm stable still. One small task, then one again. No cue to decelerate. This is how the late afternoon works when nothing slows yet. I don't need the daylighter, I don't need it long. If it stays exactly like this, I'm strong. No rise, no fall, no hint of rest. Just staying in progress. Nothing is slowing yet. I stay, I move through the late afternoon this way. No signal telling me to ease, no edge to forget. Nothing is slowing yet, and I'm set. Slowing yet. Oh, slowing yet. The day keeps working, and so do I. Nothing needs to be sold right now. The room breathes easily somehow. Light stays where it lands, on the floor. No question waiting at the door. The desk holds yesterday and today. A cup, a page, a steady chair. Nothing asking me to decide, nothing asking me to care. Outside the street repeats its sound, even low and plain. The city moves in familiar lines without a strain. I don't gather scattered thoughts, I don't try to make them fit. I let them stay exactly where they naturally sit. There's no problem in the air, no answer I must find. Everything keeps moving on in time. Nothing needs to be solved. I stay, I move through the open hours this way. No pressure closing in, no need to be involved. Nothing needs to be solved, and I don't. And I don't. Screens glow soft and patient light. Messages arrive and rest. They don't lean into my space. They don't request my best. Keys repeat a gentle rhythm, not fast enough to rush. Thoughts appear, then drift away without a push. Time doesn't narrow what I do. It stays wide and kind. It lets me work the way I work without a line. If I slow, the room remains. If I pause, nothing fades. Everything keeps holding shape in gentle ways. Nothing needs to be solved. I stay, I move through the open hours this way. No pressure closing in, no need to be involved. Nothing needs to be solved, and I don't. Coffee cools beside my hand, steam thinning into air. I don't hurry what remains, it stays right there. Outside, clouds don't organize. They drift without a plan. Neither do I, not just yet. I'm working where I am. One small task, then one again. No cue to speed or prove. This is how the middle moves, when nothing needs to be solved. I don't need the answer first. I don't need it now. If the question can stay open, so can I somehow. No rise, no fall, no final call. Just staying in the flow. Pressure closing in, no need to be involved. Nothing needs to be solved, and I don't. Nothing's solved. I stay. Nothing's solved this way. The day keeps going without answers. Nothing needs to move faster than it does. The room already knows the pace to trust. Light stays even on the wall. No signal rising, no call. The desk feels steady underhand. A page of quiet clean. Nothing asking me to speed. Nothing testing what I need. Outside, the street repeats its line. Cars passing unconcerned. The city moves away it lined without a turn. I don't push the moment forward. I don't let it get wide. I let it stay exactly where it wants to lie. There's no tester in the air, no cue to accelerate. Everything is moving fine at its own rate. trust. Coffee cools beside my hand, steam thinning into air. I don't hurry what remains, it stays right there. Outside, clouds won't organize, they drift without a plan. Neither do I, not just yet. I'm working where I am, one small task, then one again. No cue to demonstrate. This is how the middle holds a natural rate. I don't need the moment sharp, I don't need it tight. If it stays, it's at me like this, I'm alright. No rise, no fall, no sudden test, just staying with what's best. The day moves steadily, so do I. Nothing presses the area, the room breathes on its own. Light rests where it lands unshown. No signal in the quiet, no shape asking to stay. Just space doing what it does this way. The desk holds what it held before, a cup, a pen, an open screen. Nothing here insists on more, and being plainly seen. Outside traffic hums in lines, not loud enough to lean. It moves like something practiced, not urgent, not unseen. I don't shop the hour twice, I don't name what comes next. I stay inside the moment that hasn't learned to press. There's no weight behind my steps, no reason to pretend. The day is wide and usable, wave out a dent. Nothing presses the area, nothing pulls me near. I move through what is open, clear. No rush behind the moment, no red I need the gate. I stare right where the space allows. Nothing crosses the area. Nothing presses the area. Screens go soft without a sound, messages arrive in rest. I answer what belongs to now and let the others wait. Time doesn't tap my shoulder, doesn't ask me to decide. It stays loose and workable, like it's on my side. Thoughts appear and rearrange without a sharper tone. They don't rush to find a shape, they're fine being alone. If I solve, the room stays wide. If I call, it's nothing sight. Everything keeps holding form, even when I don't decide. Nothing presses the area, nothing pulls me near. I move through what is open, clear. the moment sharp. I don't need it clear. If the space stays open wide, I'll stay here. No rise, no fall, no sudden light, just time unfolding on our Nothing presses the area, nothing pulls me near. I move through what is open, clear. No rush behind the moment, no edge I need to get. I stay right where the space allows. Nothing presses the Nothing presses the space stays light, so do No, nothing rushes the minute. No push, no pull. It opens itself and stays full. The desk feels steady, unchanged. A screen, a note, a workable range. Nothing urging me to move ahead. Nothing tapping what's unsaid. Outside the street holds warmer light. Still measured, still right. The city lets the second pass. Unforced, I don't hurry the sequence. I don't wait, I let the minute move on at its rate. There's no urgency in the moment, no cue to speed. Everything continues clearly as needed. Nothing rushes the minute I stay. I move through the late afternoon this way. No warmth pressing on attention, no pull. Nothing rushes the minute and works. It works. Screens glow neutral, gently warm. Messages arrive with form. They don't compress the line of thought, they pass. Keys repeat a measured line, not rush, not slow. The space between the sounds feels whole. Time doesn't tighten the process, it assists. It lets the late afternoon continue consistent. If I lean in, the tempo stays. If I pause, nothing frays. Everything keeps holding form as it plays. Nothing rushes the minute I stay. I move through the late afternoon this way. No warmth pressing on attention, no pull. Nothing rushes the minute and works. Is empty, focus firm. The air feels warm, still serviceable. I don't mark the passage, it's fine. Outside clouds thin as they move, still no cue to stop. Neither do I am steady still. One small task, then one again. No cue to hurry. This is how the late afternoon works. When minutes breathe, I don't need the minutes shorter, I don't need it long. If it stays exactly like this, I'm on. No rise, no fall, no quick and pull, just time. Nothing rushes the minute I stay. I move through the late afternoon this way. No warmth pressing on attention, no pull. Nothing rushes the minute and works. Morning hums without a sound. Calm is moving all around. Nothing sudden, nothing soon. Quiet momentum fills the room. I remain where I began, not ahead and not behind. Small movements, subtle plans, all aligning in my mind. Light just slowly on the wall. No instruction, no call. I continue what I chose. Let the steady rhythm hold. There's no force behind this flow, just a pace that gently grows. I don't pull and I don't lean. Let the focus stay between. Quiet momentum in the room. Nothing wasted, nothing doomed. I don't stop and I don't sprint. I progress without intent. Every moment at its weight, that's calm and well placed. Quiet momentum in the room. This is how the morning knows. Coffee wrist beside the page, warm enough to gently stay. Outside shifts but doesn't press. Inside stays in quiet success. Thoughts appear and then align. No collision, no design. I allow them space to land. Nothing forced by any hand. I don't ask for more or less. Morning offers what is best. Everything remains in you, clear enough to follow through. Quiet momentum in the room. Nothing wasted, nothing doomed. I don't stop and I don't sprint. I progress without intent. Every moment as its weight, that's calm and well-placed. Quiet momentum in the room. This is now the morning news. Work unfolds without a sound, like a wheel that turns around. No sharp start and no hard end. Every part is softly sent. Breathing steady, posture light. Attention stays within sight. In this calm I clearly feel how consistency is real. I don't need a louder sign. This direction feels aligned. Every quiet step I take keeps the focus wide awake. Life remains and so do I. Neither rushing, neither shy. This is how the rhythm stays. Gentle drive through gentle days. Quiet momentum in the room. Nothing wasted, nothing doomed. I don't stop and I don't spring. I progress without intent. Every moment as its weight, balance calm and well-placed. Quiet momentum in the room. This is how the morning moves. steady turn. Calm continues and no, nothing shifts and nothing